Mark Denholm on Atom Radio.
Hello and welcome to episode 58 of the Atom Radio Drive Time podcast, back after a week off. No point in having a podcast last week because there was no show. There'd be nothing to have a best of, would there? You don't really want to sit here and listen to like however many minutes of silence. No. But this week, Monday to Friday, the show back on, which is all good. Therefore, we do have a best of podcast this week, including words and names that sound nothing like they actually look. Not a close shave. Yeah. Could it be that you're going to be timed on the throne? Your best and worst passwords, a lady who's taken a totally unexpected holiday, and love. How do you know if someone like fancies you? How do you know if there's a connection without actually asking the question? All that and more on the Big Drive Home Best Bits podcast. If you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go.
Atom Radio. Ooh, yeah. Playing the music you want to hear.
Mark Denholm.
AtomRadio.co.uk.
On the Big Drive Home on atomradio.co.uk, 4:09 Monday afternoon. Hello, if you just got online. It's Mark, back with you until 7 o'clock tonight. And I was thinking last week while I was off, too much time on my hands, but I was thinking about words that are absolutely nothing like their spell. And I was thinking about this silent first letter, you know, like say pneumatic with a P at the start, psychiatrist also with a P at the start, and knife with a K at the start. And I was thinking, right, at some point in time, somebody has sat down and said, right, you know, like this word has been used. Somebody sat down and thought, right, let's confuse everyone by sticking silent letters at the start. And that'll confuse everyone. But then, you know, I was thinking about other things like champagne, which is champagne, if you're going to be entirely specific and correct about this. What sort of word do you think is absolutely nothing like its spell? On air at atomradio.co.uk. Let me know your strange words.
Mark Denholm with Drive Time.
Thank you, Lauren, for your email. Cough, rough, and slough, where you are streaming from. That's true. Cough, C-O-U-G-H. Rough, R-O-U-G-H. Slough, S-L-O-U-G-H. Pretty much the same words, aren't they? With just different starting letters. And yet cough, rough, slough, they're nothing like they should be if you were to look at one and compare it to the other. Cheers, Lauren.
Drive Time with Mark Denholm.
4:31, we're talking about words and now names that sound absolutely nothing like they are spelt. I've got an email from Chris that says, my wife is called Sian, and then he's gone to spell it out for me phonetically, but says, nobody ever knows how to say it. You see, my not wife is called Sian, so I knew without you even spelling that out phonetically just exactly how you spell it. But yeah, you see, I think it's a nice name. I think it's a nice name because I associate it with my not wife.
Mark Denholm with Drive Time.
Razorlight on atomradio.co.uk. I must admit, right, speaking of razors, it's nothing to do with razor light, but speaking of razors, I went out the other day to get some razor blades and they didn't have any that fitted my razor except for the store's own brand. All right, so I thought, well, I'm going to have to try that because I need a razor blade, right? So I bought this pack of razor blades that are supposed to fit my razor, and they do fit my razor. All right, there's no messing about, they do fit my razor. But when you put it on, firstly, it weighs an absolute ton. Secondly, it feels like you're shaving with a concrete block rather than an actual precision razor because it weighs a ton and just the way it's angled and everything. And thirdly, you may as well just have shaved by licking your finger and running it over the hair. It is the worst shave I have ever had. So yes, Asda, thank you so much for your Mac 3 compatibles.
Drive Time with Mark Denholm.
It's 5:15. It is Monday afternoon on the Big Drive Home on atomradio.co.uk. I can keep this a secret for no longer. All right. In Wales, in a place called Porthcawl, I think that's how you say it. I'm not Welsh, but I think that's how you say it. Toilets have been used for antisocial behaviour, including sex, drug taking, and other such things, right? So the vandalism as well. These new loos in this Welsh town, I won't attempt the name again because I'll probably just get it wrong again. but they have weight-sensitive floors to make sure only one person is using each cubicle at a time. What if they're an incredibly large person? Anyway, any violent movement will set off a water jet to soak users, sound an alarm, and automatically open the doors. The water jets will also be used to prevent smoking and drug taking, and the walls and floors will be resistant to graffiti. Planning documents for the facility say rough sleepers will be deterred by a time limit on how long anyone can use the cubicles for. Let's hope they're not constipated. Or the other way, in fact, and too loose. A time lock would also open and shut the toilets every morning and evening. Let's hope not with somebody still stuck in it as well. I can see many problems with this, if I'm honest. I mean, like people do use toilets, don't they, for antisocial behaviour, if we're honest, right? But I can see many problems with this, like, oversized people are going to be blasted with water whilst trying to answer the call of nature because they're big. Constipated people or people with diarrhea are going to get timed out and the door will just open and there they'll be like sat there. Oh no, how embarrassing. Not good, is it? Anyway, if you are going to this place in Wales, Porthcawl, or however you say it, look out for these loos as well and think twice if you are oversized and perhaps, like in need of a longer time in the toilet.
Mark Denholm.
AtomRadio.co.uk.
3:23 across the UK. This is Atom Radio. Online, atomradio.co.uk. On mobile via TuneIn. Also on iTunes Radio and on your smart speaker. Passwords. How secure is your passwords? Research done by the Southern Methodist University in Texas have now found that hackers can find out a person's password even just by listening to them type on a keyboard. Wow. The new method is said to be so effective that it can be carried out in a noisy public space where multiple people are typing. They discover the technique by analysing the different sound waves produced when a key on a keyboard is struck. Now, I have a few passwords that I use, and they're words that I've made up, all right? So they're not like English language words, so it's not like, dog 1, 2, 3 or something like that. So if you're going to guess mine, then you'd have to be inside my head to know what the word is. But what's the worst ever password you've come up with? Like when you think back now and you think, oh, that's so horrendously guessable.
Atom Radio. Drive Time with Mark Denholm.
We are talking passwords today. Thank you, Lucy, for your email. I remember when I first got MSN, my password was just my name, followed by 101, and then I changed it to 102, and then 103, and I just kept doing that. Every month I'd change my password, just add an extra number to it, so if ever I forgot my password, I just knew that I must be like a number or two out. Yeah, Lucy 101, Lucy 102, Lucy 103. I'm not sure I'd try that in this day and age, though, Lucy. Probably best that you don't as well.
Drive Time with Mark Denholm.
Tuesday's Drive Time, you got Mark with you until 7. Cheers for sticking us on. We're talking about passwords. And this is because university research has now shown that apparently hackers can get your password just by listening to you type. So I tell you what, if you are going to type your password, either A, like do it really slowly, but then they'll watch you. Do it really quietly. Cough a lot, perhaps, while you're typing your password, or just type it loads of times wrong and go back, delete, and nobody will ever know then, will they, what you're actually typing.
Mark Denholm with Drive Time.
In America, 60 old TVs have been dumped outside homes by a man dressed as a television. We're talking about, you got the flat screens now that are maybe like a centimetre or two wide, or perhaps an inch. Anyway, no, we're talking about the big old tube ones as well. According to NBC 12, at least 60 residents in Virginia have woken up in the morning to find the retro screen sitting outside their front door. Adrian Garner, who caught the deliverer on a home security camera, said it was a guy dressed in a jumpsuit with a TV for a head. It's the weirdest thing. He squats down, put the TV there, and walks off. And to be fair, there are just these, I don't know where he's got all these TVs from. Police are now doing the rounds to collect all these old TVs, but they've collected up to 60 so far, says Lieutenant Matt Pecker. What a name, Pecker. So, I mean, where's he got all these TVs from? And why is he going out dressed as a TV, delivering old TVs to people? I mean, no one's going to want that, are they? Let's be honest. In this day and age, everyone's going to want the latest, smart TV, aren't they? With your Netflix and chill. Your smart screen fits in the corner, mount it to the wall. Nobody's going to want one of these great big things, are they? That, you have to have a weightlifting belt to be able to pick up and move around. And it is Mark with you until 7 o'clock. A black bear has broken into a house. Imagine confronting that. It's in Colorado. It was searching for food. It's then left by crashing through a wall. What isn't explained here is how it got in the first place. How do we know it didn't crash through the wall to get in? But they're saying that you should always look after the bears for their safety by making sure that your doors and windows are closed and locked. But what difference does that make if it can just smash through your wall? Nearly couldn't say it a second time. Seriously, what difference does it make? And imagine in the summer, because it's quite hot in Colorado, isn't it? In the summer, you've got your doors and your windows shut, and you sat there sweltering in your little wooden hut, just in case a bear breaks in. But imagine that, you wake up in the morning and or you get a nudge from the wife, or in my case, the not wife, and they're like, think there's someone in the house, and you go out and you find a black bear, and you're like, leave it, allow it.
Mark Denholm.
As you get older, does your view on or your definition of attractive, as in the opposite sex, change? I'm not talking about yourself, because obviously there's nothing you can do about that. You're just going to get older. But as you get older, does your view of the opposite sex change? When you're 18, you'll look at an 18-year-old and you'll think, oh, wow. When you're 70, if you become single at the age of 70 and you're ready to move on, do you look at another 70-year-old and think, oh, wow? Or do you think, do you know what? She'll probably be nice for a cup of tea and a chat. I don't know. Does it change or not?
Atom Radio. Drive Time with Mark Denholm.
And tipping, right? We've got a tipping expert who has given their view on tipping. The reason this has all come about, is because a British traveller was chased in the USA by an angry waitress after leaving her a tip for $20. I don't know what that is in pounds, but yeah. He was chased away by this angry waitress. He had his meal, the bill. He went for dinner with some colleagues. The bill came to $250, and he tipped her $200. She was then chasing him down the street, shouting at him, $20, is that all I'm worth? So yeah, that's a bit rude, isn't it? That's a bit rude. But anyway, a survey has been done of 2,000 people. This has been done, and they've been asked how much they would tip for a meal in Spain, costing $32.37. That's the average price of a meal for two in Spain. They were also asked how much they would tip for the same meal in the UK, which would cost around £46. In the US, $41.47. Britons would tip £6.12 in Spain, 18.9% of the bill, £9.01 in the US, 21.7% of the bill, or £5.10 in the UK at 11.1% of the bill. Now, this is the bit I don't get as well. Interestingly, when asked what they would tip for bad service, the average was $5.39, which is 16.65% of the bill, more than they would tip for good service at home. I don't know why you tip for bad service either at home or away or anywhere, because I think that they're getting paid. Let's be honest, right? A waiter, a waitress is getting paid to do their job. You tip them if they go above and beyond and provide you with good service. If they smile, if they're friendly, if they sort stuff out for you. Tip them then, because they've gone above and beyond. But if your service has been absolutely rubbish, why would you tip them? I don't get that at all. Of the survey, 46% said they would not leave a tip of £5 or less, as they would find it rude. So if you are planning on going out for dinner tonight or maybe across the weekend, remember, sort out your tip. Especially if you're in America and you're listening in America, sort out your tip.
Drive Time with Mark Denholm.
I want to share with you something that happened earlier. I went to get some petrol earlier on today. And you know how your petrol tank is on different sides depending on whatever car you've got, right? Usually you'll find that the hose is long enough to get to your tank, even if it's on the other side. It doesn't bother me. I just know, pull up close to the pump and I will be able to get to my tank with the hose, right? I saw a lady earlier today whose tank was on the left side of her car and she pulled up to a pump on the right, but she was probably 2.5 feet away from the pump And then I thought it was hysterical seeing her trying to wrestle this hose and see whether she could actually get it into the tank on the far side of the car. Would have been so much easier if she'd actually just pulled up close to the pump. There you are. There's a helpful hint for you if you're listening.
Atom Radio. Drive Time with Mark Denholm.
A woman who flew to Ibiza on a drunken whim after all-day partying is desperately trying to get home. She is £700 out of pocket. She can't remember boarding the plane at all. She arrived on the Spanish island of Ibiza with only her passport and her bank card. I mean, who normally takes out their passport and their bank card if they're going out all day drinking? But anyway, she's then got locked out of the hotel room. She struggled to get a flight home, and she is absolutely stuck. She's the 32-year-old housing worker from Winston in Salford, Manchester. She claims the spur-of-the-moment decision has cost her the best part of £700. Whoops.
Drive Time with Mark Denholm.
6:15 on Wednesday, the 21st of August, and Mark with you on Drive Time. Krispy Kreme and Kit Kat are teaming up to release a donut range. I can think of nothing more vulgar. Wine and cheese, peanut butter and jam, strawberries and cream are things that are said to be incredible food pairing. I don't like wine or cheese. I don't particularly like peanut butter either. Anyway, prepare yourself as another duo is about to come together. Krispy Kreme and the Kit Kat. It launches on Monday. Bank holiday Monday. You can have a Krispy Kreme Kit Kat donut. Now, I like Kit Kat. I do like a good Kit Kat. Very, very nice. Kit Kat Original is my kind of thing. But I can't stand Krispy Kreme. I'm not the biggest lover of donuts, if I'm honest. Not the biggest lover. But the Krispy Kreme ones, ew, in my opinion. Now, I'm not saying that this is everybody's opinion, but in my opinion, they're just too, sticky and sickly. I'm not a massive fan of them. So, yeah. I won't be trying that next Monday. I can guarantee you that.
Mark Denholm.
AtomRadio.co.uk.
Hello, if you just got online, it's Mark with you. Cheers for sticking us on. We're on until 7 on the old smart speaker, on iTunes Radio, and of course on our website, atomradio.co.uk, and the TuneIn app too. If you're thinking about your breakfast in the morning, how about this for a hack? All right, this is a top quality hack. Okay, if you are thinking about breakfast in the morning and you want boiled eggs, put them in your kettle. I don't think it works if you've got a kettle that's got the actual element exposed inside. I don't think it works. But if you've got one of those flat bottom kettles, you just put the eggs in the kettle, let them boil, and that's it. It works. Stephen, a Sydney resident, has come up with this hack, and he said he popped a few eggs into a transparent kettle and absolutely boiled them to perfection, and it saves the need to wash up a pan, unless of course one of the eggs cracks or something, and then you have to wash up the kettle, and that's going to be much more difficult than washing up a pan, isn't it? That's going to be a mess.
Mark Denholm with Drive Time.
Some of these hacks, by the way, that I have found to share with you. You can waterproof your shoes using beeswax. I mean, it shows here a pair of Toms, which are, well, I don't know if they're as popular, but they used to be quite popular. You can just rub beeswax on them and waterproof them. Ladies, please, like if you try this, say on your, I mean, they've got a picture of a lady standing on some stepping stones in the street in her Toms, and apparently the water just sits on it and then drips off. But ladies, please don't try this on like your brand new Uggs or something and then email and say, it didn't work. Don't try it. And this one I might try. Put old newspaper at the bottom of your bin to absorb the food juices when you throw the rubbish in. That's quite clever, isn't it? I like that.
Drive Time with Mark Denholm.
Atom Radio, online 24 hours a day, and my little bit between 3 and 7, Monday to Friday. An experienced angler has shared photos of a fish that she caught. This fish has 2 mouths. It really does. Like, unless somebody's very, very good at Photoshop, it has 2 mouths. So it's got its eyes at the top of its head, then it's got a mouth that's open, and underneath that, another mouth that's open, and both of the mouths are filled with teeth. You certainly don't want to get bitten by that if you're having a swim, do you? I have no idea where this fish was. It's in New York, this angler. I don't know why they're called anglers either. They're fishers, aren't they? Fishermen, fisherwomen. But anyway, well done to you for catching this fish. She let it go unharmed, but did take a few pictures of it first. Yeah.
Mark Denholm.
AtomRadio.co.uk. UK.
21 after 3 on Atom Radio. It's Friday. And if you are listening in the Philadelphia area of America and you're looking to adopt a cat, there is a cat that's available. It's a handsome cat, I have to say. Like, look at the picture, it's a handsome cat. But it's £26 worth of cat. I mean in weight, by the way. You don't pay £26 for it in terms of money. £26 worth of eights. The 2-year-old cat weighs as much as the average 18-month-old toddler. But this cat is absolutely gorgeous. The only thing I would say is, right, they've given the cat, I don't know whether he's got a name. They've given him a name, and I don't know whether this was the original owner or whether this was the rescue centre. He's called BJ, B-E-E-J-A-Y. And I'm thinking, all right, why have you called the cat that?
Atom Radio. Drive Time with Mark Denholm.
And that reminds me, I'm just going to hang on. I'm going to check now, right? Just get my phone out, because yesterday there was a thread on Reddit yesterday about, I'm just trying to find it, about, the question is, how do you know if someone is attracted to you? Now, there aren't really that many replies to it. My reply was, I don't think you can ever know for certain. There'll always be an element of risk in taking the plunge and asking the question, which is true. And then we've got invite someone for an easy getaway date and see how things go from there. If you ask them to the cinema and they bring their friends, then they aren't. And somebody else has put, in my opinion, eye contact, the way they look at you is the key. So what do you think? Can you seriously tell if someone fancies you or not? I just don't. Either that or I've never worked it out. Okay. Sometimes I think, yeah, she does. And other times I think, no, why would she? So I just don't know. But can you work it out or not? Is there a clue to it? Hashtag asking for a friend. Is there an actual formula to work this out or not? My honest opinion is no. I don't think you can tell until either you or they ask the question and you open up to each other. That's my opinion. On air at atomradio.co.uk. What's your view?
atomradio.co.uk.
Oh, it's good to be back. I've enjoyed my week on the show and I've enjoyed putting the podcast together again for you. The best bits this week. We are done with episode 58. I've got to say, though, on that fancying thing, do you know or do you just suspect? There's an element of risk, isn't there? If you ask anybody out, there is an element of risk, isn't there? I don't think there's any true formula with 100% accuracy. Otherwise, nobody would ever get rejected, would they? Some people propose and get turned down and things like that. If everybody knew, then it'd just be, easy, wouldn't it? And that'd be it. You wouldn't need to say anything else, would you? Anyway, that is the podcast done for this week. Thank you, as always, for checking it out. You can subscribe on iTunes, you can subscribe on Google, and you can subscribe on Spotify too. Make sure you're listening again to the show when it is back on atomradio.co.uk, on TuneIn, on iTunes Radio, and on your smart speaker as well.
Atom Radio. Ooh, yeah. Playing the music you want to hear.
Mark Denholm.
Atom Radio.